Yours was the highest for talking back. What's up, y'all?
What's kind of the origin of the whole dark side thing?
I think throughout the season we were just feeling like we had a really special defense. Special players, and then we were also just doing special things. And we always hear of Legion of the Boom, especially being here. And we were like starting to get to a point where we were like, hey, maybe we deserve our own name, And I think guys started coming up with names and stuff like that. And I think the dark side kind of just stuck with us.
Sounds like that was last year that came about. Is that right?
It was more like the beginning of this year. Yeah, I think a few of us were on the bus. I remember like me, Jay Reed, D-Law, some of the older guys. And I think it was we were talking about how it's like dark here, and we always talk about a style nobody wants to play, and like shows like Lumen Field with the needle and the atmosphere here. And I think the dark side just kind of represents that.
So who gets credit for actually coming up with that? You?
I don't think one person would want to take credit for it, honestly. It was kind of a group effort. I definitely brought it up to some of the guys, but it wasn't necessarily my idea of saying dark side.
Some of the guys have talked about that in the last game against the Rams, the crowd noise was challenging for communication on defense. How do you guys go about addressing that, knowing that's where you're going to be playing in the playoffs, and not giving too much away with hand signals and things like that?
I mean, I think it's something that we already addressed early on. We were doing a great job of winning on the road, and from last year and the beginning of this year, that's something that we wanted to work on is winning at home, and that was a challenge for us on defense. Is how do we communicate? How do we dial in when the crowd is so noisy? And we've learned to communicate non-verbally and things like that, and been winning at home. So I think luckily. We've addressed it early on already.
How excited are you to see what that home playoff atmosphere is going to be like?
I'm so excited. I love playing in Lumen Field. Even from outside perspective, it's one of the best stadiums to play in. And being, part of this organization and now actually playing in the stadium as a home team, it's even more electric. And, bringing the playoff games here is going to be incredible.
Did you hear from any old teammates about the way that game went on Saturday and about getting the number one seed?
What's that?
Did you hear from any old teammates reach out to you, give you
yeah, my boy Dexter Lawrence hit me up. He's probably going to be in my suite for the game. He's flying out here next weekend to come support me. And it's going to be awesome to see him and his wife and his new baby. And he definitely hit me up and was just saying, like, congratulations, and he was happy for me because he's obviously seen me through a lot of my journey as well.
You guys, based off Sunday's results, ended up with the top scoring defense in the NFL. What does that mean to you to allow the fewest points in the league for a season?
I mean, it means a lot. I think we work really hard. We value so many things on defense, stopping the run, blitzing, getting to the quarterback, rushing with 4, stopping the run with 4. All these things, and it led to us being, not allowing teams to score too much. And I think that it means a lot to us, and especially it's, a defense that wants to have our own name with the dark side. You gotta show it.
What do you attribute that you ended up allowing like almost a yard fewer per play this year? I mean, like 0.7, whatever. But so a lot of improvement from last year. What do you kind of attribute that to?
To me, it's stopping the run. I think early in the beginning of the season last year, we weren't doing a great job stopping the run. The guys upstairs made some great moves and calls and brought in Ernest Jones and DeMarcus Lawrence, a few other players. You see an immediate impact from those guys. And, I think we've just been sound at stopping the run, and it's pretty much opened up the rest of our defense when we can stop the run.
It feels like specifically stopping the run, the tackling's been really good, especially tackling in space. What makes a team good at tackling, especially as the season goes on, when that's not something you normally practice a whole lot?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it is something we practice all the time. We talk about it every day in meetings. We call it EAT. And it's just effort, angles, and tackling. And we talk about how we swarm to the football, all 11 of us. When we pause the frame, when the guy's tackled, we want to see like how many of our helmets are in the picture, because that shows, the effort getting to the ball. And then we also practice angles a lot and practice on like how to attack near hips and if you're the second man in or the first man in and things of that nature. So I think that's something we actually practice and work on a lot, which is a small fundamental that, you know, a lot of players probably forget about, but it's something that we harp on a lot here.
Leo, you guys haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in 26 games. You're doing that playing a defense where you're playing nickel most of the time. How much pride do you guys kind of have as a front to put that together, knowing you're playing two deep, nickel defense, and still nobody's able to really kind of cut you guys up front with the run game?
Yeah. I mean, as much as it feels good to get a sack, that feels just as good to hear. As you know, when we could play with two high safety and stop the run with just 4 down linemen, knowing that, you know, at least 2 or 3 of us are getting double teams, that means, you know, not only are we stopping the double team, but we're beating the double teams. Murph is one of the best in the league that I've seen do it in my career, and he's a young guy. So to see our front be able to stop the run with just 4 guys is a, you know, a testament to, you know, how we value and take pride in stopping the run.
Lots of folks, you know, notice athletic ability for teams out in the field. It seems like you guys have high football IQ on the defensive side at every level. You know, how much does having that aspect elevate the overall play for the defense?
That helps for sure. I mean, I think the effort and all that type of stuff erases, you know, mistakes. I think, like, we talk about high effort just because if someone does happen to miss a tackle, we have, like, you know, 10 other guys swarming to the ball. But, you know, this year we've been doing a great job tackling. We've been ahead of plays. Like you just said, like, the knowledge of football has been there as well. And, you know, like, I think that's when you really see big plays. Like when you see EJ, you know, E-Man making TFLs, like big plays like that, it's because they're ahead of the play. They've studied film. We've been locked in on small things, small details throughout the week of studying and things like that you can actually go out there and steal, you know, a play or two.
Are there guys on the defensive side that are most common to come up to you, or you going to someone else and say, hey, I saw this, you guys should be thinking about that?
Yeah, I think EJ is one of those guys. Spoon is also another guy. I hear him and Julian talking a lot in the back end about, you know, small things that they see. You know, DeMarcus Lawrence, we talk about him and Chenna. We try to find, like, who we can see Delta on and Delta keys on who's which old lineman's giving it away and things like that.
When you played in the playoffs in 2022, did it feel different than a regular season game? When you played the playoffs, did the playoffs feel different than a regular season game? If so, how?
Yeah, it did feel different. It was my first time in the playoffs, so it was obviously a bigger game. We were excited to be there, but at the same time, even that playoff time feels different than this playoff time. I think when I made it before, we kind of just we were almost kind of like, how did we get here type of situation. Whereas like now, it's like we look at each other like, yeah, we were meant to be here. This was our destiny. Like, this is like what's supposed to happen. Like, we worked hard for this, like things like that. So even both of my playoff experiences, I've already felt different.
How different is this having to dial it down this week for a playoff bye week, something you've never had before?
Yeah, it's definitely something I haven't had, but I appreciate the way the guys are going about it. We're not treating it like a regular season bye week where guys are, you know, flying to Mexico and Hawaii and like enjoying their time. I think we really celebrated that win against the Niners, but immediately that next day you could tell guys are like, hey, the job's not done. We got a lot of work to do. And that's still the same mindset right now, is where, you know, guys are going to take a few days away mentally, physically, take care of their bodies and things like that. But I think we're all focused right now.
You practiced in the rain today, too.
Yeah.
How was that?
I didn't practice today, but it was a pretty competitive practice just from watching. The guys were going at it. And, again, that's a testament to our team. It would be easy to go out there and kind of, you know, be lackadaisical and relax and be chill on a bye week. But guys are out there competing, trying to find ways to get better, and that's what's been getting us here.
As someone who plays with Nick and has gone against Gray, what have those 2 rookies meant to the team's success this year?
Huge. I mean, not even just their playmaking ability, but their energy. Seeing young guys being able to, you know, show their energy, show their personality, show their enthusiastic, you know, personalities is huge. I'm seeing Gray during games, like, coming up to me and like hyping up the D-line, like saying, hey guys, like, get us a play, like, we got you guys, and like just having a young guy be able to have motivation like that is big, and their play also just speaks high volumes.
You mentioned Legion of Boom when you were talking about the dark side nickname. If you're a great defense in Seattle, obviously that comparison is going to get made. How do you kind of weigh that? Like, obviously you're a different team, different players, different scheme, everything.
Yeah.
Do you like comparisons like that, or you just kind of, hey, we're our own thing?
I mean, I personally don't like comparisons. I mean, especially because they were a great defense. They had great players, but that was years ago. And it's hard to compare. It's like you don't want a new team and a new staff and a new player, coming in trying to chase a shadow of something else. It's like we want to have our own identity. And to me, it makes sense why, fan bases and people outside of here make comparisons like that, because they were a great team that was here before. But for us inside, we always knew we wanted our own identity.
Sam, obviously, he plays on the other side of the ball, but what do you think Sam's defining trait as a leader is?
To me, it's the way he works. We talk about it. Sometimes we're flying on the plane and guys are hanging out and having a good time, shadow boxing, messing around. And, you just see Sam, and he's just sitting there watching film, taking notes. Like, he's studying up until the last second. And I think that's just the way he approaches work every day, and it's impressive.
They re-signed Charles, their contract. What's he like going against in practice and just, kind of in the locker room and his presence?
I mean, he's another one of those guys that's just very consistent. The way he works, his work ethic is incredible. He's a great player, and he's a great leader in the O-line room, so I'm happy for him.
Anything else?
Thank you.